We're live and nobody's here, but that's fine. It's always the awkward moment when you start a live stream and nobody's here yet. I'm doing this from my phone only for the first time in a while. Probably the first time since the first time. Let's see, live chat. I think I'm viewing live chat. Yeah, it should come up when you guys are here. But yeah, been a while since we've gotten on YouTube for a live video, but it is 4th of July weekend. It's super sticky hot in Pennsylvania, and I'm out working in the shop. So I figured it's about time that we got a little bit of an update, did a little Sunday service. And we've got a bunch of things going on tonight. I've been doing a lot more fabrication, a lot of big things to the spool bus here. I've been tinkering around on the Willies a lot too. I was hoping yesterday to take that up to AOAA off-road park and do some green trails and stuff with that, but I ended up, one of the leaf springs, the main spring was cracked. They're military wrap, so it was able to still ride with the broken spring, but it was definitely in danger of the spring either breaking more or coming off of the shackle, because they're a C-shaped shackle, so it would be possible for the spring to just pop right off, and then we would have been fixing that a bunch of times, potentially off-road. So it's all good to go. I'm driving it on the street now. Did my first little beer run with it last night, and it just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to put it on a trailer and take it up there. Mainly because I finished working on it late. Would have had to go to my parents and get their trailer to use. So, but that thing's it's running well. It's super smoky. So I'm gonna do a compression check and a leak down test and see where all the smoke's coming from. If it's bad rings, worn cylinder walls, nothing looked real terrible in there, but it is possible that the engine is more worn out than it looked. But gets decent power, and it's so much fun to drive. The kids are absolutely loving taking it about a half mile down the road for when we run down to the pool, and it's just a good time, fun little summer vehicle. So hopefully we'll see that off-road pretty soon. Ideally, I think, I was just going to take it to AOAA because I didn't have this. Ideally, I think it would be better to just take that to like Bald Eagle State Forest, or kind of on one of my more typical day adventures that you see in my videos, where we go mostly just gravel roads, maybe a high clearance 4x4 trail, where there's, some dirt, some puddles, some rocks and roots, and nothing too crazy. Mainly because I know my kids are going to want to come along, and I don't want them, bumping around on difficult trails and falling out or feeling like they have to walk the whole day. So, yeah, that's kind of news on the Willies. And you've seen some Instagram posts from me, but I've mostly been keeping what's going on with the spool bus here under wraps for two reasons. One, because we've got a decent little Patreon community now, and I'm doing some updates. It's all just been pictures for right now, but we're going to do a episode real soon for some of the big upgrades that I've done on this. I'll go ahead and tell you guys, it's getting new axles, it's getting larger tires, and re-geared. Some cool goodies from our friends at Torque Masters, and some suspension changes. No real major upgrades on suspension. I'm not getting like king shocks or coilovers or anything like that. But it is going to be a ton more capable. It's going to be a beast. So it's time to go beast mode on the spool bus. Shortly after that, I think what I'm going to have to do, I can't remember if I made any posts about this or whatnot, but when I took this down to West Virginia with Mountain State Overland, I was having a head gasket well, I discovered shortly before that trip that the head gasket was failing. I'd been having some issues with coolant blowing into the overflow bottle, and finally did some tests and found out that that's for sure a compression leak. Sorry, what do you call it? The exhaust is leaking into the coolant, so head gasket is failing. Only when you hit a 20 psi of boost. So I've got a 20-pound cap on my radiator. When I hit 20 pounds of boost with the turbo, it blows past that cap and into the overflow bottle. So, and then once there's not enough coolant in the system, there's air, of course, it has a tendency to rise in temperature very quickly. So it is possible that I've damaged the head from running it like that a little bit. Not that I've ever pushed it beyond that, but it's possible that with there being some air pockets in the coolant from time to time that, that I have damaged the head. But I think what we're going to do is just do a head gasket on it, pretty quick and easy head gasket job on it, and get started building a new engine. So I have some plans for that, which I'll also keep up my sleeve, but whole new engine in the works. I've been kind of quietly collecting parts for that for better part of a year now. So expect to see some, I don't want to call it high horsepower or high output or anything, but definitely a little rowdier spool bus in some of the months to come. That might be over the winter if we can get it going that long without it. Basically, I've got 2 more big trips this year. One's fully planned, one is really not at all planned, other than kind of a general date range. So I would like to not limp, but I'd like to get some more miles on this engine so that it can be really well-built, new engine to just drop in there. So we'll be talking more about that as that comes along. But we've got some big changes. I keep saying that, but we've right outside of the field of view here. I'm looking at a change on the front end that you might be able to take some guesses at. Feel free to guess away in comments and chat if you want, but I'm not going to tell you. And if you're a Patreon member, don't give it away, because that makes Patreon, that part of Patreon pointless if you do. But I'm just talking. I'm not really doing a Sunday service. Well, maybe I will. I've got a little welding project that I want to do, so maybe we'll kind of tinker on that for a couple minutes. And that one person that's been hanging out watching the whole time, you can watch me do a little bit of fabrication. So basically, whenever you're working with an axle, you have a bit of an issue. So just maneuvering the thing. How do you put an axle in and out of a vehicle a number of times? In my case, I don't have a lift, it's sitting on the ground, but when guys are working on a lift, they have basically like a transmission jack adapter. So that when you're working on a lift, a transmission jack is like elbow height and it holds the transmission, but there's a axle adapter that can go on that. And of course, theirs are adjustable for different axle configurations. I think in the sake of simplicity here, I'm just gonna make one that works just for the axle that I'm working with, and I'll worry about adapting it to another axle later if I need to. But my friend and Patreon Jamie gave me some awesome steel. This is like 3/16 wall. I guess it's like 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. I didn't measure it, but decent sized tube. And this stuff will work awesome for what I'm doing. It's already welded into a T. So this is going to be what I'm going to use for this little project. So let's spin you around here and we'll get started doing this. Might as well, right? Remember how my tripod works real quick. Here's my messy workbench. You're going to want to see my vise because that's where I'm going to be cutting. Set my bandsaw up here. This is always the part where I feel bad doing this live, because whenever I edit a video and there's tools in the background as part of the audio, I don't always mute it, but I definitely at least always turn it way down. So I'm manipulating that audio in the interest of the viewer to not blow their eardrums out. So take this as your warning that there's going to be some loud tools here. I saw cutting. So I'm going to move a couple things out of my way here real quick. And we can get started. By the way, if you're watching this later and wondering why I'm not doing this on YouTube, or why I'm not doing it on YouTube and Facebook like I normally do, and then I usually do Instagram on my phone. It's a lot, not really a lot of work, it's a setup. So I've got to bring my laptop out, I've got to connect my DJI camera to the laptop, and then I've got to be using these grimy hands on my primary computer. So I don't have a better way of doing all those simultaneous things, and unfortunately I've just got to do it this way. So it's the only way it's going to happen, I think, really, on any kind of consistent basis, is if I just whip up my phone and do it for you guys this way. So let's just keep it to YouTube. That's the primary outlet anyway. What's up, Jamie? Yeah, the tube, we're gonna find out if I need to clean any of that paint off there or not. I know you said it's seal it, but we'll find out for sure if it welds through. So I'm gonna try to not bother cleaning that off and just weld on it. But since it's not critical, you know, it's not a control arm mount or something crazy that, you know, can't be failing on me. So basically, looking for my mark on this. There it is. Basically, this I want to make this thing so that it supports the pinion, the axle tubes, and then this can sit on dollies like you would put under a tire to move a whole vehicle around. So that's kind of my idea with this, and then I can move axle in and out from underneath the vehicle without too much trouble. I have a visitor that needs help with a bicycle. I don't know where your strider is. You'll have to ask your brother. Oh, never mind. I know where your strider is. Let me move that for you. It's not your seat, though.
Why did he change?
Because he did. Let's use it like this. And we're back. So, yeah, that's That's that there, and it doesn't really matter how high this is. Basically, I want a little bit of height to it so I clear any brackets and stuff that are on the vehicle. I'm thinking, I'm designing this as I go, if you couldn't tell. What's up? I'm doing a live video. Mm-hmm. Say hi.
Yeah.
Probably way taller than that needs to be. Maybe this one will be the pinion one, and that's also way longer than it needs to be. So next thing I'm going to measure is how long the pinion support piece should be. Center, let's make it 10 inches should be good. Come back here, 10 inches. Okay. These silver streak pens are super cool for marking raw steel. It worked fine on this paint here, but this is silver, so this is a lighter color than the paint on this, thankfully. But yeah, Sharpie works fine on this, but you wear Sharpies out. So if you're kind of like working with metal or just getting started in fabrication and frustrated with either the grease pens or Sharpies, Silver Streak. I've had this thing for like 2 years now and have not replaced the lead, I guess we'll call it. The filament. Haven't replaced it yet. Stock, turn it on again. All right, so gonna need this soft set up for a little while, I guess. This one would be nice. The pinion one would be really nice to make adjustable. Just thinking that through so that I could adjust pinion angle, although probably doesn't matter that much. I can always slip a little shim or something underneath there. And so I think I will end the live there because I've got a good bit of back and forth to do, and I believe my wife is calling me to make dinner. I neglected to tell her that I was going to do a live video, and it's already been almost 20 minutes. So nobody's watching live videos that are an hour long, I don't think. Let me know in the comments, I guess. Looks like I got a bunch of comments here, so let's hop on that real quick. And I will go out and show you guys the wheelies real quick, and we'll end there. And I'll try not to totally show you everything I've got going on with the school bus. So this was pretty cool. I picked up a roll bar. So CJ5 roll bar for 75 bucks. Had to cut a couple things on it real quick. Let me turn this around. Let's see, where's the turnaround thing? There it is. So I had to radius these a little bit, and that otherwise fit in. It's not bolted yet, but I can do 6 bolts into the fender well. Yes, we're still running off a boat tank. And it rained a little bit here, so you got some rainwater sitting in there. But yeah, we've been cruising it around a little bit. But there he is, Mr. Ice Willis. I love it. This thing is so fun to drive. It's still got the foot starter. I think I've shown you some live videos. I don't even have a battery in it, and the battery's out. Charging at the moment because the charging system, either I don't drive it far, so I haven't really played around with the charging system, but it's either not working or I just don't drive it far enough for it to actually charge. But yeah, that's kind of it, guys. Hope you have a great 4th of July weekend. Check out Patreon if you're interested in getting behind the scenes and ahead of the curve, ahead of the public updates on the school bus. I've got a announcement to make. I will talk about that. I'm going to post a video, hopefully tomorrow. Get that wrapped up and posted, and you guys will want to check that out. So that'll be live on the channel. Either I'm going to shoot for tomorrow, so let's just say tomorrow. Audio cut out? Audio fully cut out? Hopefully not. My thoughts on Ram trucks real quick here. I have a Ram truck. I have a 05 2500 Ram Cummins. Awesome truck. I'm not a big fan of Ford engines, Ford trucks, bodies, suspension, frames, all that stuff seems to be really, really good. Ford truck engines, not great in their heavy duty stuff. I don't like the diesel engines that they make. Duramax is kind of okay as long as you're not turning them way up. Seems like transmissions, I'm not sure if they got that all worked out, but nobody asked my opinion on those trucks. I like Ram trucks. Not a huge fan of the latest stuff of anything really. Call me old school. I just am not a huge fan of all the new digital cars with their computer everything. But computers can be helpful. They can also be very expensive and tedious to repair. But anyway, guys, stay tuned for more updates on YouTube and Instagram, and hope you guys have a happy and safe 4th of July. Peace out.